Hello, welcome back to Sun Chat. I'm Whyte.
I'm Jamie Allan.
I'm Ben Francis.
No Russian accent from you.
No, sadly not. I mean, I thought about it and then I thought, actually that's effort into it, so I'll leave it out.
I know, you don't want to put effort into this, come on.
I'm not putting anything in.
Come on, we are a world famous podcast. We're on iTunes now, link in the description below. And what can I say, we're world famous now.
Oh, I'll be picking up a wee iTunes card just for you. Of course, like...
Yeah, donate to us, make sure we get money.
Pierce. Right, anyway.
How are you doing?
I'm not too bad. I'm not too bad yourself. I mean, I've had a good wee weekend from a sporting perspective, but we'll maybe touch on that a bit.
I'm very glad you brought that up.
No.
Anyway, so
we'll ignore football because football is the men's matter.
Yeah, it's not true.
So
I like my balls oddly shaped and oval. But anyway, we'll touch on that later.
Yeah, well, because on this podcast we like to do things in our chronological order. So Ben, first question, like I give to every one of my guests, is what is your very first memory?
Oh God, very first memory.
First.
Shite. I don't know.
Cheers.
Well, let me have a wee think. I mean, my first memory, really, I can sort of going way back was. I have some memories living in St Vincent Crescent, which is in like the city centre of Glasgow.
I thought you just made St Vincent there as in like the fucking island of the Caribbean. That's a new one for me.
It explains the caramel tones in my skin.
Yeah,
I was actually a wee Caribbean person. But anyway, St Vincent Crescent in Glasgow. That's probably my first sort of memory, like living there and just sort of like running around. I remember they had this like really long hallway, and I used to have like a wee like bouncy thing that would be put in it. So when I was a kid, I don't know, it was like a bungee.
What age were you, 10?
No man, I was like 4. True. I mean, I'd still have it when I was at 10. Fucking awesome. But that's probably my first memory was playing in that with my gran. That was my first memory.
I have to be honest, mate. It's probably the most disappointing one now of all of them that we've had so far. Hate to disappoint. We've got folk getting attacked by dogs. We've had folk getting thrown downstairs.
I mean, I've got memories like that, but they came later.
I'm sure we'll get on to it. So, Glasgow born and bred all your life, have you been?
Indeed. Absolutely. I mean, I don't sound Glaswegian now, mind. I mean, I think that's probably something like, I think this guy sitting to my right sounds more Glaswegian than me.
I get told that all the time.
He sounds more guttural. I think it's a problem is because ever since I moved through to Stirling, I've started like talking like I would sort of to an Aberdonian, because that's what I've gotten used to doing, like sort of a bit northeast, and they're a bit more higher pitched and they're not as deep and docile.
But in general, I mean, well, he's always lived in Stirling his entire life. He's never been. Well, no, you have been in Glasgow. You've never lived in Glasgow.
I've been in Glasgow, but
if you hadn't been in Glasgow, I'd be a bit surprised. I don't know how you've gone your life doing that, but yeah, Glasgow born and raised.
Ben, I think, is the bigger upper of Glasgow that's ever existed.
Where about in Glasgow?
Oh, well, here's the thing. I mean, I'm a Glaswegian, but I don't technically come from the bits you'd associate with
I think to come from.
I grew up in Finnieston, which is the West End, so that's, there's no beating around the bush there. That's posh as fuck. Nothing really happens. But at the same time, I did spend most of my time, like, as a child, whether this was a good decision or not, in places like Easterhouse and then the Gorbals. And they're doing that sort of area in the East End, which was...
What age would that have been?
East End of Glasgow.
I mean, I first started hanging out there when I was about 9 or 10, when I first met sort of mates and I went out to go see them and stuff on the bus. It was fairly easy.
So, what are these all like mates you knew from school or other means?
They were mates I knew from school, mostly. Because they weren't... I don't know why they were really kind of there, because I went to school in Gavin, which had quite a good rep. So a lot of people like to send their kids there, and these guys come over from Easterhouse, and I met a few of them there. It was only the one guy I met from school.
So just before we go any further on, do you want to describe to folk that's never been to Easterhouse or that area, sort of like what it's like and what it's well associated for?
Well, if you can picture like Bosnia, and then
and sort of the 90s, I take it.
Bosnia and the sort of what you'd picture Bosnia, but then without the nice people. But I mean, it's a bit unfair because it's changed now. But like when I was that age, it was still you had like one eye watching your back, and it was I mean, nah, we'll leave that subject. I don't want to offend anyone in case my mates find this on YouTube from back home.
I mean, I was going to say, but you know,
that's why I said it. If you just want to,
absolute shithole.
Give your address for certain individuals. I know. Nah,
that's fine. They won't leave there if they could. They don't have enough bus money to get through.
Nah, that's right. Yeah, I was going to say they won't be able to afford it. But it is. It's
doesn't come in till next week.
It's a pretty tough place. It's seen better days, I think.
But why would because obviously you said there you grew up in a nice neighbourhood, were your parents of wealthy background, I take it then?
My mother was and wasn't. She initially, her family, like when you look back further in my family, like we used to own resources and actual tracks down in Dorset.
Ooh. Oh no!
And that was.
You're trying to hide something about yourself. I don't know. You had connections down south.
Oh, I do. Sadly, I mean the name Francis is, even though I'm quite a patriotic Scot, it is an English second name, or at least a Norman one. But anyway, so back to my initial point. I do have some sort of relations down there, and we used to own quite a lot of money, obviously from resources and tracks. I make a lot of money off of that. But there's quite a funny story because my mum's great grandmother was disinherited by our family because she married the stable boy, which is below her. Yeah, below her sort of lower our standing in the world. How dare they fight so she was I know. So she was disinherited. So really, like, I mean, the family got some wealth that continued forward. And my mum, the family's been quite hard working, especially my mum has really built on it. My dad, he's got quite a high paid job. So I did come from, I wouldn't say extremely wealthy, but certainly above average. Above average, I think is the best way to put it.
So why would you then want to fucking go down the shit house that is Easter Road?
Well, I think
Easter Road.
Sorry, listening. I mean, that was a slap in the tongue.
I was getting a wee bit confused there, mind.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
I think.
Easter.
I think like most folk. I mean, maybe. Well, not like most folk, but certainly I didn't make the best decisions when I was younger in terms of friends, in terms of the groups I hung about with. I mean, that came back actually to bite me a lot later on in life after initially. But initially I went down there just to see mates and stuff. Lord forbid it now, but kick a football about a pitch. Don't know what I was thinking. It was a bit dumb.
I don't know, hit on the head or something.
I think it might have done, probably on the rugby the night before or something. But yeah, I used to go down there just see mates, just hang about, and because it was the one guy I met who was from there that I kind of went through to hang about with all his mates, and I met mates through him, and that was sort of my main group. And that was who I hung around with, and they all lived sort of in that area, Easterhouse, or even down by the Gorbals as well. So that's probably the reason I went down there mostly. There was nothing sort of
just because all your mates were there.
Yeah.
Would you change it if you could?
I mean, looking back on it, and again, as I was saying just there, looking what it led to, like 2 to 3 years down the line, yes, I would probably not have hung around with that crowd. But that's,
Would you give advice to anyone younger listening if they're like getting down the sort of same path that you would have been?
I mean, I would say to folk, if you're it's hard. It's at that age. I would say it is kind of. By the time you've made friends with these people, you don't know what they're like, and kind of until you hang around with them enough. I think what it's, it's easier to. My big mistake was not saying no to things, because I would be dragged into things. There's things that they would, ask me to do, or things that I would do, like we do, and things we'd go around and do when we were younger. And it was the hardest part was obviously, you're a kid, you want to be cool, you want to be accepted, you want to say yes.
You're often peer pressure into doing things.
Well, I think so. Yeah. I mean, looking back on it, I feel like I think everyone is. It's being human, isn't it? And I think that my biggest advice to any of your younger listeners out there.
I mean, I don't know if we have.
I was going to say,
but it's just in case. We like to be sensible
just in case.
occasionally.
I think my biggest advice would be basically don't let people dictate how you should live your life. Like, go out and do it yourself, but don't. And by all means, go out and do things with your mates. But if you're doing something stupid, they're asking you to do something you shouldn't be doing, don't do it. Just have the balls just to stand up and say, nah, mate, I'm not doing that. But it's a lesson I learned the hard way. But I think that's probably, if I take away anything from it now, that would be what it is. What not to mess up.
Fair enough, and obviously you can leave out certain details because
I was going to say this being a public domain going on YouTube, nothing I'm not going to be saying much about what went on, but I mean, you can ask questions about it and stuff. I don't really.
I mean, if you have no comment, obviously the words "no comment."
I mean, it's fine. No one can put a face to the voice. So I mean,
you will be in the title of the YouTube thumbnail. Yes.
Oh no.
You stated your name right at the start, so.
True.
Yeah, that's also a very good point.
I just stated before this podcast I can put on a very convincing Russian accent, so maybe I'll just be Dimitri from now on. Legally
and that's
also
now in the podcast as well.
Well, but who says I'm not double dipping them and I'm not actually going to be someone else?
I know you've just said that, so.
Oh, well, triple dick.
We've got a very intelligent audience here. Some of them go and download this on iTunes.
I know. I mean, I might be screwed a wee bit here. If you don't see me again, you know I'm on the inside. Anyway.
Yeah, because I mean, like, you know, the Polish really listen to this.
The Polish? I thought you said the Polish, and I was
like, the Polish as well.
I was going to say, in terms of Polish people and Glaswegians, they don't always see eye to eye, especially recently. It's calmed down a bit now, but I've always pointed out to you that when you see FTP spray paint on the side of buildings, it doesn't always mean what you think it means. Sometimes, but
I mean, to be fair, I guess both mean when it's done.
We don't want this video getting flagged, so we'll leave that bit out just in case. It's
now trying to find what's actually saying. Right, tell you what. Right, we'll go back to what we were saying originally, chronological. Okay, so primary school. What was that like for you? Where did you go?
Well, I went to Gavin, which that was actually
private.
It wasn't private because private schools obviously aren't really much of a thing until you're going into sort of secondary level. Yeah. But I mean, it was pretty upstanding. It had a sort of rotary system at the start of the year where you had like a wee exam you had to pass to get in for like primary 1.
Yeah,
and it was like
wait, hold on. You had to pass a test.
Yeah, no, I shit you not. It was not. It was like 3 questions, and they weren't hard. It was like basic stuff. But
do you remember what the questions were?
Oh god, they focused on maths. One was mathematical, one was English orientated, and the other was. Oh god, I don't remember what it was. But to put Gavinburn into a few words, it was the kind of school that we had an IT department in primary school.
You had an IT department in primary school in the early 2000s.
Yeah, and they were using Apple. They were using Apple computers and all sorts. And we were using. We were on the GarageBand. We were on the GarageBand.
You were on the GarageBand in the early 2000s. Yeah, in a primary school.
We were on the news actually a few years ago because we had Doctor Who. Sort of thing there, like the writer came down because the writer was the brother. Well, this was well later. I was in like P6, but the writer was the brother of our head teacher, Miss Penny. Her name was, and the writer there, he was the brother and wrote like a lot of stuff sort of in the Matt Smith era, and he came down and like brought the whole shebang for me. There was Daleks going about the school, there was Cybermen walking about the playground.
What sort of primary school is that?
I don't know.
Why do you mean a parent going to pick up your rain afterwards and just seen Cybermen walking around the playground?
I know.
Did you get on the news when that was at like did they interview any of the kids? Or?
They did, but it was all like the younger kids interviewed, like the P1, P2s. I was like a grizzled veteran of the Gavinburn school system at this point. I was like P6 or so.
Oh yeah, were you just like smoking fags out the back? Just I don't deal with this Doctor Who bullshit.
Yeah. Nah. I was. I mean, we were outside dealing in Kit Kat bars and all that shit. But like, that was the sort of school I went to in Gavin. And then I went to Claybank High, so it balanced out because Claybank High is one of the has the rep as one of the worst schools in this sort of area.
Just to bring it back, I mean, even I have made it onto the news from our primary school. We had an inventor come into our school in primary 4, and we got like a month beforehand. Our primary teacher came out and said, right, so a news team wants to like interview you and go on the news.
Wait, actually, now that I think about it, I got it on radio once. I got into radio. It was like some weird backward channel, and it was in P7. We were doing
wankers on us.
You're just jealous, mate. That was like best from
mate, that should 15 seconds of fame gone. I'm just waiting for mine.
What are you talking about? Our 15 seconds of fame are still going on.
I was going to say, mate, you're having it. I mean, I'm pretty jealous of anything. You're going to have about a fucking hour of fame.
I know. By next year we'll have a camera. Even we're getting that big, mate.
I know.
But the like sort of we had like this P7 project, and it was just it was something on the solar system. and it was something
Good
silly.
old space.
Yeah, it was something we were like mapping out the distance of planets, and they were like going to like different parts and like Glasgow and like putting little stickers down and saying this would be Neptune.
You see much the solar system from Glasgow.
Yeah, I know. But so we did that, and then we got on some sort of weird like radio show. She was
What do
asking
you mean
questions.
weird radio? Is this like something?
Well, I don't know.
station?
I'd never. I may have been. I'd never heard of the station. I mean, but so we'd. I don't remember the station's name, but she was doing the interview, and it was quite funny though, because I think I fucked it, to be honest.
Well, your parents listened to that, yeah.
No, I don't think so. But I think what happened is they were taking everyone's shit, and I was the last one interviewed, and there was like 5 members of the team, and they were asking all the genetic questions, like, you know, did you find it enjoyable? What have you learned?
Did
I was
you
like,
see a planet?
and everyone had said, you know, their part, and I was like, and I remember just sitting there listening, going, everyone said every idea I've had. I have nothing to say to these people, and I just sort of
That's
went,
a no break.
I just sort of literally said, it's good. and
always Glaswegian response. It's good.
It's good, eh? But so I said that, and then I may have even been cut from the radio. No one knows, but I made it into the school newspaper a couple of times.
Oh, that's big shit. Our school didn't even have a newspaper, so you know.
The school paper that I made it into that a couple of times.
Yeah, well, back to where the real star is over here in the corner. Primary 4, so our teacher comes in one day and says, "Oh, like soon the BBC are going to come and interview us," and we're like, oh, we're going to be on TV. You know, that's
you
shit.
thought that in P4. You thought, oh yes, I'm going to be on TV.
Aye, I was thinking like 7-year-old or something. I was thinking, wow, I'm actually going to be on TV. That's like
That was your thought.
Aye.
Oh, okay.
Why? What are you thinking?
I'd have been like, aye, cool, whatever. You know what I mean?
No, but like, it's like, TV, like, when you're younger at that time, like, to me, TV anyway was like that, like, almost the biggest films, like, you had to be like a star or something to be on TV. I know
Unless I was going to be starring on Nickelodeon or something.
I'm not running away. I'm just going to grab another cider.
It's shocking.
If I'm a Glaswegian, I can't exist without alcohol. Anyway, continue.
If I was in your shoes, I'd have been wanting to be on like Nickelodeon or Disney or some shit, or I wouldn't have been.
No, I mean, like, don't get me wrong, like, if I was younger, I would have been, like, because I didn't even really watch any of those shows. I didn't watch a lot of TV when I was a kid, but, like, being on the actual TV was what was big to me. I didn't care what I was just like, wow, I'm going to be on TV. Anyway, so a month later, this like inventor guy comes in. Your typical sort of like, if you're drawing a comic book, this would be like your inventor nerd. He wore like a short sleeve like white shirt, a massive fucking tie, had big circular glasses on, and his invention was, get this, flashing cones.
Oh man, I've seen those.
And what we had to do was we had to run around the PE hall smacking on top of the cones, and it was good for exercise.
Excellent.
I was on TV, and there's still a recording of it somewhere out there.
Here was me thinking it was some big sort of new invention.
Oh,
like,
fucking
look at this.
No,
just invented an anti-malarial drug or something.
It was fucking St Ninian's primary school. They were coming to test it. I don't even know why. That shows like this pointless shit that gets. That's why Scottish news.
Well, I mean, St Ninian's might need an anti-fucking malarial drug about that school, but I'm gonna just chat some kind of shit there.
No, but see as well, from them recording that, it took them over a year to release the footage. I don't know exactly what was the big story that they needed to hold back on it or whatever, but hey.
Maybe wanted to put all the flashing cones out first.
Then to be fair, that would make sense actually. I didn't think of that one.
Aye. Who wants footage on the news or something going, today was Mark's the great occasion of flashing cones. Do we have images? No.
It was called something shite like funky cones or something like that.
Funky cones
or some shit like that.
Could you imagine turning on the news though, right? Your gran going, oh, come here, see this. You sit down next to your gran.
Funky cones, aye.
Funky cones is the invention of the day.
Do we have
pictures of them?
Sounds like something that would appear sort of like, so you'd look at dusk and you look at their what's playing next to you. DJ Bad Boy followed by the funky cones. Or something like that, like dusk has just got these cones sitting there blasting out strobe lighting as you go. That's kinda...
to be fair, I hardly watch TV anymore, but like if I ever occasionally put on the news, and just before the sport or the very end, they always have one very pointless shitty story.
Aye.
And I always wonder why do they put it on there. I was one of those pointless shitty stories.
At least you made it. You made it.
So Going back to you then, so why did you go from a prestigious primary school that had fucking Max in it to Clydebank?
Oh well.
Oh, you went to Clydebank High?
I went to Clydebank High.
Oh shit!
You've heard of Clydebank High? Have you?
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I suppose so. That's a bit of it. It's a bit of a shithole. Anyway,
Which is the point. Why did you go from good to awful?
Apparently, it wasn't always a shithole. Right, my mum went to Clydebank High as well. Right?
Oh, dear.
And she went on about how I remember when that school was good, and I was like, there was guys shooting up heroin in the bike shop outside nowadays, but
Did like your mum and dad know about the problems they had, or did they just?
I think
everybody knew about the problems.
everybody
it had.
knew. I think it was kind of a combination of the fact that, like, you know how like high schools have catchment areas, whereas if you're at this primary school, you went to this high school.
Why did you go from a
normal.
good fucking primary to such
Because it's Clydebank High is Gavin is in its catchment area. So
that
that's
sounds like though, like you've gone fucking backwards.
Is there any other school in your catchment area?
There must have been Glaswegian.
Well, no, because if you look at Kilpatrick, it's like Clydebank's here, then there's like City Centre Glasgow, where all the private schools are for pretty much high schools and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Then you got Clydebank, and then Kilpatrick's the very edge of the city. It's like as far as you can go without being, into bowling and stuff like that. Yeah, and that's where Gavin is. Then it's Clydebank's here, and then obviously that's it. So we're in their catchment area. I mean, I could have went to St Peter's, but that was St Peter's of the Apostle is a school that's literally 2 minutes away from Clydebank, but it's a Catholic school. So I mean, this is a good old.
You probably made a good choice.
Well, in fairness, that's kind of very stereotypical of the good old Protestant Catholic divide in Glasgow that still exists today. But we'll maybe touch on that. I'll touch on that a bit further. I got a funny story to do with St Peter's actually.
You were in the alright end though. You were in the alright end to go to the Catholic side.
Well, they were, I suppose, actually. Now I think about it, but I mean, there's never no
famous
when it comes to St Pat's. But anyway, there's a funny story about St Peter's. I'll touch on that a bit later. But yeah, so I went to Clydebank, just combination of in its catchment area. My dad kind of was from a really, really working class family. Like my dad never really met his dad. Like my my uncle, granddad would have been died when my dad was like 4 or something like that. And it was with my gran raising their 3 sons in a single parent family back when Beef was like a really rural part of Ayrshire. And it was obviously quite a long while ago, so a single mother was frowned upon, kind of thing. And she didn't get much money. I had to sell. They used to have like one of the first houses in the street to have a telephone. Like they had 2 cars. Had to sell all that. Had to do all these things, and then
sad times.
Aye, because my granddad was a master plasterer, so he was quite a wealthy guy. Because he was quite a skilled trade, but obviously when he died, he left my gran a little bit, but not much, because he just died so abruptly, just dropped dead one day. And so they didn't have much, and I think my dad grew up in a sort of a childhood home. This is never whereas he didn't have much, he wasn't they weren't well off in any regard, and I think that kind of like clashed a bit with my mum, because my mum didn't come from a super wealthy background either, but she had a bit more than dad did, and stuff like that. And I think my dad I don't think he wanted me going to a private school, because he was like, you don't. Well, it's because in private schools in this country, I mean, they kind of hammer it into you, and you leave with good grades, but then you kind of don't really live your life like as you would. Oh, that's the police. They've heard them on the chat, they've got the rest now. But
so they've been listening for a while now.
I know. It's like
fans.
It's Dimitri, but yeah. So I think it kind of just my dad wanted me to go to this public school, so he was like, right, I don't want him like hammered into the moment. Actually, if he's going to do well on his own. Like, he gets more sense of achievement. And I went to Clydebank High, but
that's a fair way to look at life.
My dad's quite a decent person, which it's not.
Didn't translate to you clearly.
Yeah, no, don't know what happened along the line with me. But in terms of like to put Clydebank into perspective. We were the worst in terms of grades. Like, we're the worst by a mile.
And then you came around and changed everything.
Oh, we actually did. Our year was the highest achieving year ever because of this new curriculum for excellence.
Ever.
Yeah.
Ever in the history of the school.
Ever.
Fuck me.
But there was a reason for that. It's because of this curriculum for excellence thing. It's geared up to basically fuck over people who just maybe. I know this is going to sound kind of bad, but sort of like some people that maybe struggle a bit at work and stuff like that, and maybe don't get the grades they like. It basically just screwed them over because you couldn't do prelims, you couldn't do anything like that. It was really unfair, I thought, actually, but because of that we got a lot of grades. But anyway, to put Clydebank into perspective, at the high school we had a resident police officer, Big Steph. She used to go around, wear a baton, just walloping folk. And I remember I wandered in one day and found our deputy head lying unconscious on the floor. And I went, what's happening
In
there?
a
And he was,
classroom or?
in the hallway, and apparently what had happened is there'd been a fight, and he tried to split it up, and he just got knocked out for his trouble. Well, the guy connected, hit him right in the dinner bell, right in the side of the cheek. Got him quite well apparently, and I was just looking at him going, oh, Ludo. And I remember going outside and catching all these. There was one funny guy. I was like first year. I don't know who this kid was. He was probably like 6th year. And I remember going outside, and I thought my mate. I heard a sort of rustling in the bike shop, and I thought it was my mate because we used to scare shit each other in the bike shop. So I was like, whoa! And this guy goes, oh fuck! And he's shooting about with a needle in his arm and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh. Well, I'm never going to unsee that, but that's the kind of place Clydebank was.
Shake off a junkie.
Now,
The
other good thing about Clydebank is because that was obviously sort of the Protestant school, and St. Pat's 2 minutes up the road was the Catholic school. And the funny thing about that is we used to have like interwar schools, like lunch period would go on, you'd get the fucking Clydebank boys up, and they'd go to this hill. And St. Pete's would be at the top of the hill, and they'd just run at each other and just actually start batting each other in the middle of on this hill.
Fucking Green Street Elite.
The police used to sit there and wait for them and like try and catch them all. But it was, I don't know. I mean,
they'd be prepared. Fuck it.
But it was
head up the stairs.
It was a bit dumb really, because it showed just that it showed how dumb some of these lads were, because St. Pete's used to always win, and none of them ever used to realise, well, St. Peter's all running down a hill at us. We're trying to run up a hill at them. And no one ever seemed to notice that until.
But when's the high ground never worked for any like battle ever?
I'll tell that to you, McGregor.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the Star Wars fans among you will get that.
Yeah,
Will that get that sick pun?
So, what was the rest of high school like for you then?
It was good. I mean, overall it was quite quiet.
Was it similar to your experiences at Easter? I was going to say Easter
No,
Road again.
I mean I was still I was still hanging about in Easter House a lot though, when I was that age. Like, I mean, I never used to. When I was in high school, I just went there kind of and just did work, had a bit of banter with people in my class, but I wasn't really good friends with a lot of folk. Because most of my friends were in Easter House. Like after school, I wouldn't go out with mates from school, and they'd always wonder where I was. And that's because I'd gone to Easter House in my spare time and went and chatted away with them. It was only sort of initially I started making like good mates with people from sort of high school, and I started actually going out with them a lot more. One guy that springs to mind is a guy called Max.
Such a good mate, you can't even just say.
Yeah, I know. I know, sure. But Max was he's sort of one of the guys I used to hang about with a lot, but most of the time I was spending time in Easter House and stuff like that. I mean, high school was quite funny. I had a big spate of people thought it was people seemed to be. I seemed to be one of the guys in my school that got compared to famous celebrities. It was very bizarre. I can remember
Which ones?
Yeah, this is where I pulled the race card and just say it's because I've got slightly darker skin. But the first one was a girl called Lucy Wood. And she comes up to me and goes, you from the side, you look quite a lot like Johnny Depp. And I'm like, from the side, so I have to come like this.
Right, Jamie, shall we just like look psychopath?
Just if you want, I'll just stick my face.
What do you think, Jamie? Out of 10, what are we going to give this comparison?
I'm saying Lucy was deluded.
I say Lucy was deluded as well.
Yeah, no, to be fair, I'll give her a solid 3.
What I'll say is Andy Murray, younger. I'd give it.
Andy Murray younger.
Aye.
He's
just
just
a bit.
a weird version.
And the accent as well.
I suppose actually, yeah.
So I used to just have a number 2 all over. I always got Novak Djokovic.
In fairness,
I can fucking see that.
Yeah,
oh, that's amazing. Oh.
Have you not been told that one?
No. How do you not like my arch fucking nemesis, man?
I can fucking see that. Amazing.
To be fair, I say still scalp you everything, so you know.
Oh, I will. But
come at me, Dumblanians.
That was good because that happened, and then a few weeks down the line, it changed, and it was 3 or 4 lads who said, "You look like Zayn Malik."
I say that a wee bit.
And then people.
But I catch you. Seems to be ladies that's comparing the other thing.
Well, it was occasionally a guy with a
Don't build his ego.
feed me. Come on, give me up. But so he said. So that was that comparison. Then that fizzled out.
To be fair, I do say that a wee bit is Zayn Malik.
My parents said that as well, because I brought it up to conversation with them as well, and they were like,
is this like just when he became famous, or take it with the whole One Direction thing?
I think so. It would be. I mean, I don't really follow them, mind, but
do you know? You look like the sort of fan base.
I'm a kind of guy. That's my bae right there. But anyway, so that fizzled out, and then the last one. This is kind of the one that stuck. Now, I don't know if you heard of this guy, because I hadn't heard of him, and I had to look him up just to like see the comparison.
Yeah.
and I didn't see it either, but this one for some reason stuck and it stayed with me for the last year of high school. It was a guy called Dan from Gossip Girl.
Right, well, I don't know that.
So, I mean, I don't
give us
know.
a second, explain the story while I Google it.
So anyway, I
Jamie
remember
can see, 'cause
one time
I think Jamie,
someone.
you had
It was the same time
No.
as like Zane.
I think I've seen
It was the same sort of thing where people said to me like, "You look like this person," then someone said, "You look like this person," but for some reason, I mean, it wasn't so much a story to it; it just sort of stuck. And like, and I'd occasionally wandering past in the wandering in the hallway, and people would be like, "Hi, Dan," or "Hi, Belland," or one of the two.
Was that Dan's nickname, or is that another one that you'd picked
No,
up?
I got that nickname just from being me, but you know, like, but
I mean, I suppose Dan
yeah,
at that point seems
I mean,
quite decent.
it was weird because I actually didn't. I saw the Zane one.
What year would this have been?
Oh god, it would have been like it started initially in like 5th year and it lasted all the way through to the end of high school.
2015,
14.
Yeah, and I say it was like everybody and everyone kind of saw it and like said, "Oh yeah," but there was like a few like staunch like core groups
this is
that
what
were
it
like,
looks like in
"Definitely looks
2014. Do you see it, Java?
I see the hair.
I see the
hair,
hair.
yeah.
The hair's.
But
very
it's one of these things. He's fucking look at him. He's pasty as white. He's pasty
Hold on.
white. He's about as white as a milk bottle.
You've got the same kind of jaw.
I think that's kind of what people saw, but like I don't.
He's got a massive fucking forehead.
I'm
You
still,
don't.
I'm still going.
I mean, maybe my fringe is covering it up.
Nah, you don't have a massive
Nah.
forehead. I'll give that a solid 6.5 out of 10.
6.5 out of 10. Yeah, that's fair.
What are you giving it?
I'd say roughly that too.
Right. But anyway, so like that high school was, it was a combination of getting compared to celebrities, scaring the shit out of junkies whilst they're shooting up in the bike shelter, and sort of trying to just exist. I mean, there was a few in terms of like major stories from high school. It was always, I mean, at being in Clydebank, there was always like a bunch of fights. But like I remember, one of the funny stories I had was I used to play rugby quite competitively, and I was asked to coach the school team or help one of the PE teachers who was also quite big on rugby coach the school team.
Yeah.
And I remember.
Was rugby quite a big thing at your school or not really?
No, it was non-existent. It's Clydebank, man. It's like football. It's football. Football
yeah.
the way. I mean, a rugby only really exists in private schools. Like really, they're the only schools that have like.
I think that maybe sums up what's the better game, mate.
Aye.
It sums up, sums up the kind of people that play it.
Aye. The good working class.
Yeah.
Good working class.
Yeah, but it's just what you're saying your family was, mate.
Family was, mate, but I couldn't. I prefer the game. But anyway, you can ask me that questions about that later. But one of the funny stories I had was like it's a really good banter with this. He was a Northern Irish guy called Mr. Coates. Mr. Coates, and he was
Mr. Coates or Coates.
Coates.
Right.
I think it was like Coates, and me and him used to coach this team, and they were like the most. They were by far the worst team I've ever had the privilege of coaching. It was one of these ones where.
What age was the group you're coaching?
I mean, they were under 16s, so that's 15,
Yeah.
16 odd. So it's enough to like know the basics of the game. You'd think. But there was points where I said, "Right, let's just see what you can do," and I chucked the ball in and said, "Just play," because they all said they knew what they were doing. They'd seen the game before, and I went, "Right here, just see what you can do." Because I just engaged their their basic skill set and what I had to work with. And when the first guy catches the ball, picks it up and goes to try and do a quarterback throw up the pitch. And I'm just looking at them and going, "Right, this is going to be more of a challenge than I thought it was." But
It sounds like a real underdog.
Have you seen rugby or have you seen American rugby?
yeah,
I'm going to say is American football is way better than rugby. Like,
I will not agree with that.
I will not agree with
no, I think it's well better.
It's shite.
Nah, it's wank. It literally
No.
they lasts a game there lasts for about 8 seconds and then they pause it for about 10 minutes.
The game is like it's like 80 minutes. It's about 20 minutes of play, an hour of ads.
I know it's good that apart. Well better.
In what
Really?
way? I'm curious.
Genuinely, you prefer?
Aye.
Really?
No,
I'd rather-
fuck that, no.
I'd rather watch.
Is there a reason to it?
I don't know. I like the way the rules work as well. Whereas rugby, I'm yet to grasp how you can get a scrim and stuff. You know what I mean?
Do you want me to give you
No, in the slightest.
a quick
Um,
explanation?
I'll get it in the Six Nations. My dad will tell me.
Do you want me to give you a quick sort of a rundown?
Go Jenny, how can you make a foul and get a scrim?
Go on then. Give us
I used to
give us like
coach,
5
but-
right. Okay,
I'm an
this is
SRU
your
coach,
5 minute
so-
time right to explain rugby because trust me, this podcast is never getting that 5 minutes
exactly.
again. So you have 5 minutes
right.
starting from now.
Okay, right. So, you got just pop some questions at me first. What do you know? And this is
fine.
directed at you.
Yeah,
so, like, what is it? What questions?
How can you
have
earn
you
a
got?
scrim?
How you got a scrum? Right, scrum. It's an American football thing, because they call it fucking scrum, don't they? Cunts. Anyway.
That's an Aberdeen word.
Anyway, but
Scrum's like the name of like a rag you used to wash windows.
they call it a scrum as well. Aye. Or was it not?
That's not scrum.
Aye.
Anyway, we're getting off topic here, lads.
No, but I'm saying like a scrum is what you call it.
You can't tell me how you get a...
Right, the easiest way to get a scrum is a knock on. Knock on, you know what a knock on is?
When the ball rolls.
Rolls forward. Like, you know when you see in like a rugby match where you obviously have to throw the ball backwards to get that. You know how I say catch the ball, but they don't catch it, they spill it forward. That's a knock on. So the game stops, that's a scrum.
So it's only forward if
the ball goes forward, it's a scrum. In other words, if you're doing that, so like say like someone threw me a ball, I didn't catch it, fumbled it, whatever, the ball bounces forward. Right. That's a scrum to the other team. It's like their feed.
Aye.
So it means it's scrum down and it's their like number 9 who feed the ball. So in other words, they'll get possession.
Aye.
But your team still has a chance if they have a good scrum to contest, obviously, the ball. So that's how you get a scrum. That's the easiest way to get a scrum. Other ways you can get one is like from a penalty. You know, using a penalty rugby, like you can kick the ball at a touch to gain fieldage, or you can kick a penalty. Or if you feel confident, you can ask for a scrum and it's your feed. So that's the easiest way to get a scrum.
Is that a ball?
So rather than a penalty. Do you mean?
Yeah, knock on is mostly how you get a scrum. Yeah, that's pretty much how you get a scrum.
Because I'd be watching the Six Nations, right?
I'm surprised I thought you'd never fucking put that.
No, because Scotland, the
Scotland are actually quite good at rugby at the moment.
Who did they beat? Was it
last Six Nations? No, they didn't beat New Zealand.
No, who was it they beat the other day?
Six Nations, they beat Wales pretty handily at Murrayfield. They beat Ireland as well.
And they beat France.
And they didn't beat France. They beat Italy, obviously, as expected. But they narrowly lost to France in Paris. They didn't, unfortunately, beat England. That was a bit of a shellalican, but we'll not discuss that. But that was so they had quite a good Six Nations. They were unlucky to finish second. I think it was something like that. They just
it was
points difference and such.
Yeah.
I think there was nail on. I don't know. It was something like that.
Who did we beat the other day though? We bet.
Oh, you heard it. Most folk have been kind of heard about it. Australia is like the third best team in the world, and we kind of fucked them over with what is near on a B team. Aye. So I mean, like people are like, it's one of these things. The rugby team at the moment in this country is doing far above its weight. Like no one plays it. To put into perspective how many people play rugby, Italy has more registered players than Scotland does. And that's
a bigger country too.
But even then,
they're shit at rugby.
Yeah, no, they get screwed over. Scotland plays very little. Out of the home nations, out of every, almost every tier, out of the tier 1 nations, which are obviously the top 10 countries in the world, we have the least amount of playing numbers. So we have the least playing pool. We have nothing to choose because the culture in this country, especially where I grew up, Glasgow, is dominated by football, dominated by the old firm. Yeah. That's what it is. So no one plays rugby. So. I mean, and for a team that has so little players, I mean, the Scotland team right now is 5th best in the world. It's actually quite a feat to get to that level, to be honest.
So, what's your best ever rugby experience or best ever rugby moment? It can be either watching or playing, one or both.
I mean, personally, for me, it would be playing, because I got to obviously run out for Scotland on one occasion, scored a try against Italy. And then I was off injured. Later on,
you had your moment.
Off injured in the rest of the game. off injured in the rest of the game, and then but the injury was bad enough that I missed the rest of the season and I never got selected again. But
sad times.
It was I think I was quite lucky to get selected in the first place, because
this means I can put the title we have an international player on the show.
Exactly.
Oh no.
Scotland International.
The one no one's heard of.
Don't put rugby. Don't put rugby. Just put
Scottish. Obviously.
Put Scottish international player.
I'm going to watch like statistics.
It was way back. It was way back. I mean, oh god, it was so long ago now. But no,
when was that?
This would have been, because it was literally under 15, so that's like 8 years ago.
Oof, long time ago now.
Aye, long time ago.
What's your best ever memory then watching?
Watching? Oh, yeah. That was probably... I mean, watching Glasgow Warriors destroy Munster in Ireland was pretty fun. when they won the Pro 14, the Pro 12 title at the time.
So like, although I watch my internationals when you're Six Nations and World Cups and occasional friendlies come around, I don't watch club rugby at all.
Club rugby is actually quite good. And again, Scotland has 2 professional teams. Glasgow, two. Glasgow Warriors, Edinburgh. Glasgow Warriors, put into perspective now, there's been 9 games this season. They've won all of them, most of them with bonus point wins for scoring 4 tries or over. And they are 12 points ahead of the pack in the groups.
How many points you get for a win?
You get, I think it's 4 points.
No.
Like they are. No, I think maybe more than that. But anyway, they're dominant. They're favourite. I think they're going to win the Pro 14 again this year. I mean, there's South African teams in it now, so the teams have to go down to South Africa, which adds a new challenge. But other than that, I think they're in a really good place. And for Scotland to be doing as well as it's doing, it's no short of a miracle. It's just kind of having to basically consistently keep that performance up until 2019, when was the World Cup in Japan, and how not it will do. Because as of right now, I've been to Japan, but I'm not gonna. I don't think I'll go for that. But as of right now, Scotland. I mean, they're actually, for the first time I can say in any sort of major sport, Scotland are right in the mix to not only compete at the World Cup but to actually possibly win it if things go their way.
So that's
why you say that for Scotland, the football team.
That's why I enjoy watching Scotland the rugby, because wow, there's a World Cup and there's Scotland there.
Yeah,
that doesn't seem right.
They've qualified.
I'll put it to you this way: Scotland have never knocked. Ever since the World Cup was for rugby, when it came around in 1900 something or another. Scotland have never not qualified for the World Cup. They've never not been.
I think we watched the wrong sport, mate.
Why not the last time Scotland's football team
Was it
qualified?
not 80s or something? Or?
Was it the year I was born, 1998?
Yeah.
Oh, that's year I was born. There you go.
Nah, well, the good story is that when they did qualify, Joe explained the story of the first game in the World Cup.
Well, they not get fucked.
No,
We actually done alright. We qualified for the World Cup
in 98,
in 98, and we were opening the World Cup.
Was this still back when Scotland was actually the best
no,
team?
98. No, 98.
No.
98 we were well beyond that. We were shite, but
Were we?
less shite than we are now.
Aye. And we were opening the World Cup against Brazil.
Aye.
Who went on to lose the final in the end, but they had at the time the world's best player in the team in Ronaldo, so
They're probably the best team on the planet at that time.
probably they're up there with France.
I mean, what happened to Scottish football? Come on. I mean, I gotta ask, because Scottish football, if in all honesty, if Scotland put as much money, players and things into rugby as it did to football, they'd be world beaters at this stage.
To answer your question, Ben, if you look on the YouTube channel, there's a documentary on the rise and fall of Scottish football. If you want to go check it out.
Plug in your own fucking videos.
Plug.
Oh, good self-advertisement there.
If you search the rise and fall of Scottish football, it will appear. This will answer all of Ben's questions.
I set you up for that one there. I think you owe me some sort of royalties for that.
Yeah,
I'm in that video, so I go watch it if you want. I'm in that video, so you can go watch it.
You seem like the kind of lad that'd be sitting there. So I could see you as soon as the game's over, Scotland just got fucked 5-0 or something. You're sitting there, suit and tie, just sort of aye, well, they're shite, but
no,
they could have.
You didn't explain your 98 story to Ben.
My mum was in labour with me.
My dad
was watching the game as we were opening the World Cup against Brazil for the first time in a while, and he had to leave early because I was being born.
And he must have been thinking, it's fine, 4 years.
Inconsiderate as all hell.
I know, my dad was fucking seething.
I would have just said, I'm on my way, I'll leave right now. Hangs up the phone, waits till then, right now, I'll leave.
Traffic was shite or something like that,
Yeah, you won't believe there was a fucking World Cup going on.
Exactly,
So, what's it like then being a boy from Glasgow, where, let's be honest, the most dominated thing out there probably is the Old Firm, to only support rugby? How does that go down?
I mean, it goes down not too badly, because the good thing about Glasgow Warriors...
Well, do you ever get the obvious question of Celtic or Rangers?
I do, yeah.
What do you say?
I mean, I say neither.
Rugby.
I just say I mean, it's one of these things. I support.
Motherwell. You should get beaten up for that.
Nah, it's fucking.
If
anything, mate, it's like fucking Partick Thistle all the way, or something like that.
St Mirren.
But if anything, it's I mean, people ask me who do you support in football, because usually when I say I like rugby, it's neither or I support. they have 2 responses. One of them, which is a bit more rare, is oh, that's great because Glasgow Warriors are doing really well because they're a top team in Europe. Never mind Scotland at the moment.
How often do you get that response?
That's what I'm saying. It's a rare one, and that's usually from like other fans who maybe like to watch the rugby as well as the footy. Whereas like the more sort of football orientated ones, which there's obviously a lot of in Glasgow, their response is, "Aye, but surely you have to support Celtic or one of the two." And I went. And my honest response to them is like usually I'm just like I just support who say because I don't support any team in Scottish football.
I support the team that's
winning.
Say
a Scottish club is playing say that and they're a Scottish club Champions League, they're playing like a non-Scottish club. I'll support whoever they are. So in other words, mostly Celtic at this stage in the game. No offense, no offense, but like
to be fair though, you can't say anything against that because you've admitted to the same.
What?
Not like you're supporting.
Well, I think it's a reasonable, isn't it? It's a Scottish team. It's a Scottish team v another team.
That's the thing I have respect for you for, because you say I'm happy either way, because if they get decked, then I get to laugh at them, and if they don't get decked, then a Scottish team's done well, and
and it brings money into the league. It shows that Scottish football can compete, whether it's my team or no.
Can it compete? I've just got a question there.
I don't know. Celtic can compete in the Champions League. They get shafted with the groups every year
because the pot systems.
The pot system is to work in favour of the bigger teams.
I'm guessing, yeah.
You always get 2 big teams in the league and then 1 small team, and then the problem is with Scottish football right now is that the domestic league. This is just from an outsider, from like another sport looking in. But as someone who can understand how sports work and what makes them competitive, you guys, the Scottish SPL needs to be competitive. It needs to have more than 1 team that can win it a year. It did.
It did, but it doesn't now, and it's not. That can't be helping the national team.
That's where I'm going to step in. I want you to shut your mouth. Alright. Okay.
Alright.
Shut your mouth, because I'll let you have your say later. Okay. Basically,
alright. Okay.
Aberdeen.
It's getting serious now. You can tell he went basically and turned to me in a dramatic fashion. For all our viewers out there that can't see, he's fucking Celtic.
Celtic get millions each year. They have the best coach in the league. They've not had debt now since like the 90s. They're just on the rise at the moment. There's no taking that away from them.
They're still on the rise.
I would say they are. Aberdeen, on comparison, average a spending spree each summer of £200,000. We always I think it said somewhere in the last 5 years we've signed 30 players, and of that 30, 20 have either been free or loans. Okay. So we don't have any money coming in. However, last season we were 8 points off Celtic, who are undefeated for the entire season. That's not too bad.
Are just now.
But does that not maybe just say that you guys just had the better
they had
team?
but
you're still
but we were don't get me wrong, we're not of the same calibre as Celtic. I get that, but what I'm saying is for a team that have got so little money, and I mean, we are literally fucking pitiful. See, if you went down south, there's League 2, which is the bald league, and then there's teams there that have millions compared to Aberdeen.
It's money oriented in Scotland.
The problem is as well.
I think that's the problem with football though. It's very money oriented, just globally.
The good and bad thing as well with Aberdeen.
I mean, rugby's going the same way. It's sad for me to admit, but rugby was obviously it only really became professional in the 80s. That's the only time that it was. Before that, rugby was completely amateur. You played for Scotland and then you went back to your work as a doctor or whatever. And so that's what you did. And I mean, nowadays, rugby players are not getting they're getting paid a lot of money, but they're not getting paid mega bucks. For example, there's not one rugby player out there that's probably getting paid more than £1 million. They're all in hundreds of thousands, but no one's getting paid £1 million.
Well, a year, I take it. Yeah,
a year.
A
high wage for a rugby player.
That's potentially an Aberdeen player.
And a high wage for a rugby player, and this is elite of the elite, like a world beater, an All Black is getting maybe top wage in France about €700,000 a year. That's pitiful. That's pitiful.
The other sponsors.
But the thing is as well, the reason these guys are playing the game is because they love the sport. They're not playing for the money. Which, when you've got the amount of money that's in football, I can only imagine that a lot of players are doing it for the money.
Oh yeah, a lot of players, especially down south.
Stirling.
A lot of players, especially down south, will basically sign their contract at 16, 17, get paid £2.5 grand a week.
Rugby's going that way though. It is, because it's becoming more popular as a sport. It's the fastest growing ball sport in the world at the moment. It's growing exponentially. America's already trying to tap into the market. They actually.
How long before you have your first £1 million?
Not long. It'll happen. I mean, like I could see rugby kind of. It'll become. I mean, like rugby. The signs of it's already there, being money orientated. Like France got the World Cup bid for 2023. They won the World Cup, and their biggest thing they could bring to the table was they just gave a bigger lump sum to the IRB in terms of like monetary value, more than Ireland did. Or South Africa, they just gave them more. They gave them more money, and you know it goes where the money is. So rugby is becoming in the same way. I'm just kind of enjoying it when as it lasts.
Do you mind me asking as well? Do you know off the top of your head what is the biggest ever like rugby transfer like between teams? Like is it working the same way in football? Like you have to do, like transfer between teams, and there's a lump sum paid at a time.
I'm not actually. I mean, transfers. I think I don't even. I mean, they sign contracts. That the players sign the contracts.
Yeah, but like, is there not a fee between clubs?
I don't actually know. I mean, you don't really hear about them. You don't really. It's not really followed. It's more just.
Are now similar to football.
It's more just like annual wages, and like as you were saying, for like a top world beater, annual wage in rugby is about the same as like a second string Aberdeen player. From what you're telling me in terms of actual money.
No, I mean,
it's like
no, I see like a Hardy for Rangers. You know what I mean? Like a bench striker. Say he's
how much is your top earner?
It's Nico Cranshaw. I think it's maybe 17,000 or something.
17,000 a year.
17,000 a week.
A week.
Yeah.
So
well,
17,000
our top earners. Are you sure 17,000? So I thought like people like Barton were on 70 or whatever.
Barton's only played for
I know, but like last year.
No, he wasn't. No, they've not got the money to do that. Barton's
I thought
25k something. Like that. Oh, we don't pay a lot of money to.
Oh, I thought you had a bigger wage than us, but no. I think our top earner is 20,000 a week.
Which that's probably
like, but we've still got kids playing in our first team now that have come to like youth ranks or apprentices. I mean, you're on like £200 a week or whatever.
No, base off that and think about it, like Scott Sinclair for Celtic would maybe win 60k a week.
Yeah, it's nothing. Rugby is nothing in comparison. I mean, put it into perspective. Like there is a domestic rugby champion, like championship in Scotland. It's amateur. It's the domestic. It's the BT Premiership.
Yeah,
that's got Stirling County's in the BT Premiership. These players do get paid, but I think it's about £50 a week.
£50 a week.
They hold other jobs. That's not their full.
Oh yeah, obviously you can't afford to live them.
But it's one of these things. It's that's like the step up to that's professional. There's no wage gap in between. Yeah. And the sort of like lesser known professional players that play rugby in the 15-sides game, they're probably not getting paid more than 120,000 a year.
But I mean, it's not a lot, but like
it's a lot. But in comparison to other professional sports,
I mean, we had Neymar moved clubs for £200 million just to move a club.
That's included like
the biggest,
which he on like maybe 150.
The biggest rugby players in the world. It would be a world breaking like transfer fee. If a rugby player moved for even 1% of that. Like shit, like that would probably be.
It's not hard to believe. I don't think like.
But in some regards, that doesn't that make you happy that it's more for the love?
It's more. There's a lot more passion. I mean, like if you look at the way, because you know how like the club game is very distant from the national game, or it seems to be in football. If you look at the two professional teams in Scotland, they are geared solely to making the national team good. That's everything in rugby is geared around the national game. The national game is what matters.
Yeah, so
that's I wish we were like that, to be honest.
I mean,
there's a massive focus in grassroots rugby. There's a massive rugby is built from the bottom up. There's a massive focus in grassroots. The SRU gets so much money to just let clubs out there. Like I used to play for Clydebank Rugby Club. Used to got like a 10,000 grant from SRU just to build club rugby. Grassroots up, very very.
We had a must-win game for Scotland in order to maybe qualify for this World Cup coming up.
2 or something, was it not?
Something like that. But we had Celtic drop 2 of their biggest players in Scott Brown and Stuart Armstrong because they had a cup final come up on the weekend.
Yeah,
we are completely opposite. See if we won it, like it would be so much better.
To put it into perspective, because like the professional team, like Glasgow Warriors played a game last weekend. It was against the Welsh side Ospreys, who are not professional. They fucked them 47 points to 6, but they did that with 14 international players missing.
That's quite impressive.
But that's the same with everything. Like if you in rugby, if there was ever, I mean, there are some things where like Because the good thing about rugby is there's international windows where the club sides don't play. So the players all go to the international squads. They don't overlap at all.
So we get an international break as well.
Yeah, we get an international break as well.
But it's like most of our shit players that go.
I mean, the problem is as well, like that whole passion thing you're saying. So, see, for Scotland especially, right, it's not for the current manager who, basically our current manager's been basically found out to be a racist.
Aberdeen's gone around.
Scotland manager's found out to be a
Who? Gordon Strachan?
No, he got sacked.
I was going to say, did he eventually get sacked? I didn't think he was a bad manager, considering what he had to work with.
No, he did alright, but his problem was like
his problem was he left too long to change things in game.
And also as well, he kept relying on the same shape. Basically,
so who's the manager now?
There's Malcolm Mackay, who's...
Is he any good?
No. I mean, well,
he'll go.
No, the thing is what I have respect for him for is like he's picking folk from like Scotland to get, like he's picking actual Scottish players, because that's what I was going to say. See, when Strachan was in, a lot of our players either weren't born in Scotland.
Stuart Armstrong's English.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of them. James Morrison, Berra, I don't think is. There's a lot of players that played for them that aren't actually Scottish to get through.
Same with the rugby team. To be honest, oh yeah. I mean, like to put it in perspective,
why do you think they have that passion?
The starting 15, because all these guys who are they're not Scottish, but they're of like they're near on, like they have both Scottish parents, Scottish ancestry, and things like that. I mean, there's a few people in the squad who qualify. That's been changed now. The RRB used to have a 3-year residency rule.
Yeah,
so if you lived and played, it's been changed to 6 years now. So it's gone up a bit because they want to make homegrown players. But I mean, to put it into perspective, I think of the starting 15, and for Scotland, or for the Scotland has a match day squad of 30 or something like that. It's like 15 start, 15 sub. Well, not 15. That can't be. It's like 21, like 6 subs. Like 12 of them aren't born in Scotland.
Well, why?
Because,
sorry, just a second. Why then? Because we have a similar problem, right? Except none of our players look like they give a shit for playing for us, because obviously they weren't born there. Why would they give a shit to such thing? Why is it the opposite though for rugby?
Well, I don't think it. I think it is the opposite, because these people do actually see themselves as Scottish. I think a lot of them do. Like, because I know other than maybe one or two of them who are here, who are South African. Like, we have a number 8 called Cornell Dupree, and it's like
very Scottish.
And it's like, and he's probably just in it but except for the good thing about a rugby player, no matter what country you're from, like your biggest, like it seems to be the biggest aspiration for a rugby player is not to make a massive amount of money. It's to play internationally.
So is that guy Italian?
Cornell Dupree, now South African.
South African, right?
There's no Italian out there. They make it in the Scotland squad.
I don't even know what I mean.
In fact, they've got a Scottish lad who wasn't good enough for the Scotland squad in the Italian squad at the moment, called Tommaso Allan. He's crap, so it isn't much of a loss. But it's kind of one of these things. Like there's a lot of passion, because a lot of these guys are like maybe born just south of the border.
Yeah.
But they're born of Scottish parents,
like
Scottish family.
Is
really they're only English by birth, but by upbringing, by heritage, they're Scottish. They're more Scottish than they are English, and they choose, and they're given the choice because they're asked, "Do you want to play?" and they say yes. That's more the thing. So I think there's a lot more passion in it, and that's the majority of the players that are like that.
Yeah,
if they're not, just
decent chat. I've enjoyed learning more about rugby. You, Jimmy?
Mad enough way.
He won't accept it.
It's not that I won't accept it. I do enjoy watching Six Nations. I'll never ever watch a club game.
Yeah, no.
I find it rather boring when it's not Scotland, shall we put it.
Yeah, no, I'm the same.
I'm the same with
tennis.
tennis.
It's not against the sport. Yeah, like if it's for Andy Murray.
If it's Andy Murray, I'll watch it. If anybody else, no.
I see where you're coming from. It's the same with me in football. Like I'll occasionally watch Scotland play football. Like,
why?
Well, it's more just because it's a big sport, and it's one of these things. I've just like you want them to win. It's Scotland. It's your home country. You want them to do well.
It doesn't matter what like competition it's in. It doesn't matter if it's like fucking polo.
Look at this way. Scotland have been tipped as outside favourites to win the Six Nations this year coming around. So watch that one with bated breath. So see what happens.
Well, is it January? It starts
just for January, February. It kicks off.
Yeah. Oh well. Do you know what? Maybe if we have a camera by then, we can have an episode where we're watching the Six Nations and we can have live reactions.
Maybe
cut down into smaller clips because not to bore people.
No,
I'll
put a big dramatic title and thumbnail with like red arrows. I'll make it exciting.
Go for the Yeah, the highlights videos maybe.
Yeah.
Just do that.
Aye.
Right, so moving on then. How did a boy from Glasgow come to Stirling?
Uni, pretty much. Yeah, like there was
Why
no. It wasn't really
Did
like.
because you clearly love Glasgow, so like debating about that. Why did you?
No,
Not
I think
feel
it's.
like
I think it's a wonderful city. I don't think there's a city on the planet like it. And it's more the people that make it rather than the city itself. I'd
So
say.
why did you like? Was there never a thought to stay in Glasgow to
Well,
learn?
I mean, most folk do. Like most folk in Scotland go to Glasgow because it has the most unis. You know, Strathclyde, Cali, Glasgow City College. You
West.
know, fucking. Alright, you count that. West. You know.
Yeah. Come on, Graham's been on the podcast before. He's going there.
I know. I wish him all the best. He is going to Paisley after all. Fucking hell. Anyway, no, but Glasgow's like I just chose Stirling because it's got quite a good rep. It's quite a sporty uni, and I'm quite a sporty individual, so if that fitted. And then the course they were doing was just kind of perfect for me. It was like
was Stirling your first choice or?
see, I just kind of
That's the right answer.
Oh, eyes are yeah, you know. But I just kind of see the thing is with me, like it's one thing you have to understand with me. I'm like I've for like all my life I've just kind of been going with the flow. I've not planned more than 2 feet in front of my fucking face. So I literally like at school. Do you ever guys have that sort of thing where it's like you plan for uni?
No.
Like they have like this thing. It's like where they help you like with they send you
like
up to uni for you and shit like that.
Well,
I can't remember what it is, but it's a
like
school thing.
UCAS.
That kind of thing. It's like the school run, like the teachers help you with stuff for uni and stuff like that and things like that.
No, not
Weird.
really.
We had that, and you had to kind of go through it to like give your applications to uni. I just fucking went, I can't fuck with that because it was time off my day. And at the end of the year, my mum said, "You going to uni?" I was like, "Aye," and she was like, "So," and I was like, "Well, maybe I don't know." And she was like, "There's this thing like school," and she was like, and he was like, "Why haven't you done this?" And I was like, "I just didn't feel like it." But so like in the last few days, I just sort of had to look around online. And
Like the last few days before you had to apply.
Yeah. And I just sort of looked online at different things. Because Glasgow's more engineering focused for a lot of their stuff. That's kind of what they do, or a lot of things. And I looked at history courses, and I looked at pure history in St Andrews, which is developed. And I had the grades, but I didn't want to do like pure history because I was looking at it with kind of head like, where can I get a job and where can I get a well-paid job in the future? Like what can I do? And then this course with the business orientation on the with the history spin, like that suited me a lot more because it was kind of something I could build on. Like,
So
get
do you
hopefully
want to describe to folk what your course is about, like what you do?
Right, well, the official name of it is
Not to bore folk, but you know.
it's a heritage and tourism course. So in other words, it is, as I was saying there, it's history with sort of business spin. So the Scottish
So what sort of
government
things do you
came
do?
up with it,
Okay.
I think, didn't they? They did. They came up with it like a couple years ago, and they said
This
This
was a
is-
couple of weeks ago.
a couple of
that's
weeks ago,
what I
that's when you am, and they said basically this is the kind of gaps in the market we've identified, and it was apparently there's a lot of people that come out that are really good at history, but don't know how to market anything, so they're still kind of shit at in the tourist market.
Right.
But then there's a lot of people that also come out that are quite good at business, like theory, but have no clue about obviously what they're marketing in Scottish history. So they wanted a combination of the two.
Okay.
So that's kind of what I'm doing, and the way this course kind of works is like we kind of walk into a job at one point. You know what I mean? Like we'll even hopefully go work with like Visit Scotland or something like that straight after, like marketing and stuff like that. And it's quite well paid, and it's something I enjoy doing. It's history, so that's kind of why I went for it.
Decent.
Decent indeed.
So how would you say your time in Stirling's been so far? You enjoyed it?
It's been good fun. I mean, the city, it's like I quite like Stirling because I think I've met a lot of people, especially up here, who have said who've asked me they haven't asked me, they've said to me growing up in a big city, or just let's go to city, let's go to places like that. And I've kind of just been like, I kind of don't like big cities because I grew up in one, so I'm kind of like I wanted a change, which kind of was also a big reason I went to Stirling because it's quite rural, and it was kind of just.
I mean,
change,
rural to you here. That's a massive.
We've got a city, you know what I mean?
Aye.
So I put it out there.
Well, you got a city now, because it's called a city. So I mean, to me, this place still feels like a town. You know,
That's
it feels
fair.
like a big town. But then that's to be expected when you grow up in a city of 1 million folk and you come to one that's 70,000 folk. You know, you're gonna feel it's small. But it was just that's kind of what I was looking for, because the big city thing is, I mean, you get bored of things eventually. I do. I'm quite one of these people that likes to do things and move on. So I got kind of bored of it, and I was like, I need to change. I mean, the only thing I'd say maybe change is, if anyone from Stirling Council's listening, maybe let some more nightclubs in. Because dusk in a fubar.
To be fair, have we talked about this before? Like how they can't get it on the podcast before?
How they can't get what?
They can't get more nightclubs.
Because you told me this, and I just was like, that makes sense, to be honest. Because I was like,
wasn't it you that told me this?
Oh well, it may have been. What was it?
Like how basically Stirling can't get any more nightclubs because the guy that gets the final sign off on like any new clubs that come through is the guy that owns Fubar Dusk and Cape.
Oh, maybe I'll be.
I mean,
I know that's for a fact.
I don't know.
Calling out Stirling Council.
Calling out Stirling Council. You see this video getting taken down. It's fucking.
It's fine. We did one about like 2 weeks ago when I called them out anyway because of the roads.
Aye, you should have had that one.
I know it's one of these things. I mean, I quite like. I think Stirling's nice.
Yeah.
It is nice. I'm enjoying the time here. It's just the nightclubs. Dusk is a fucking shed with lights, and Fubar is fucking nearly got into a fight with a bouncer and a barman because he tried to charge me £17.20 for 2 double vodkas and coke. And I
just cry.
No, I mean, I was sitting there and I turned around and I was like, mate, I'm the most exclusive Glasgow clubs don't charge that.
And then they were like, sorry mate, we made a mistake, and then they sorted out the register and they went, that'll be £16.
Well, he tried to claim that I had to pay for it because he poured it, and I was like, nah, you can't make me. I'm not going to fucking do that. None of that. But yeah.
You say that, right? See number 50 in Glasgow.
Yeah, well, yeah, there are exceptions. I will put it out there.
Aye, I walked in there. I was at what was it? It was like a Sony event for the work, and then, mate, you've never seen this, like fucking double vodka, £12. I was like,
what?
Aye.
Fuck off.
Have you been to the Tenants Brewery in Glasgow?
No.
Yeah, you drink it. Like I said, I call it carbonated piss. Like it's Glaswegian pissing in a can and injecting some carbon into it.
So I say like why I started drinking Tess in the first place, because I always used to be so my childhood early teens consisted of I started off on Bud because everyone starts off at Bud.
I mean, Bud's actually not bad. I don't mind Bud.
Yeah, no. Then I moved on to Foster's. Then I've been Carlsberg, and Carlsberg's been my drink, and I always will love Carlsberg.
Bud, Foster, Carlsberg, and then you got
no. The point is though, right? Carlsberg is a great drink. I will not stand for any bad slander against it. The problem is though, right? See, the minute we started, or just before we started college, they stopped selling it in Sainsbury's and Tesco. Like, they don't have it there anymore, so you can't get it in the local area. So
fair enough.
I'm very sad. And then of course,
we've got other stores.
What's that?
We've got other stores.
Yeah, I know, but I can't be fucked looking around, mate. I want what's on the offer.
This man's a superstore.
So Tesco's
this boy.
Yeah, Sainsbury's
doesn't have
it. Yeah.
Right, okay.
So
Superstore, he's a Tesco loyalist.
He used to be a Sainsbury's loyalist.
He's got to be club card and all sorts.
I know, I do have the club card.
I mean, I'm a Sainsbury's wanker just because it's close to where I live. At this point in time.
No, but and then you, me, and other folk from college started going to the corn exchange, and I looked at what was on tap, and the options there used to be Strongbow, which is pish.
Yep.
Strongbow Dark Fruit,
even
which is
pish.
the worst.
Yeah.
Coors Light. That's actually a good story which we can get on to in a second.
I remember that. Anyway,
I had that Strongbow Dark Fruit. It's passionate. I turned in.
Yeah, no. Wait a second. Let me
there's a story there.
Coors Light, which is pretty meh to me, and the only other one there on tap is Tennent's, so I just started drinking that. And because you, me, and the rest used to go about 4 nights a week on it. Used to go about 4 nights a week on average. Like, I drank a lot of it.
Something like that. It was literally like need on every night, every week we went out. I mean, we've cut down significantly. Like, we barely go out now. Like, I think we go out maybe once or twice.
I barely drink. I'm not even saying this to like make people happy. I barely drink.
Well, I mean, last time we go out now, like once or twice a month.
Probably, yeah.
If that, sometimes it's just.
We did it a lot during the summer, but
it's one of these things. It's simple. It's just basic. Well, I can't remember the fucking word, but it's something like that. It's just the fact that you're in this flat, we're in that flat, and people are spread out, and
it used to be easy because we always used to
all
live
in the same place. It's much simpler.
Peer pressure is very easy when you all live together. It's not easy when you're on the phone. But anyway, Jamie likes to point out the fact that there's a big crate of Strongbow Dark through my flat, which there is empty, I should point out. But you should explain.
Right. Well. Right. The first ever flat party we had, we were just across the road in Union Street, was my birthday party. And this because I this was before, you know, there was like obviously after that people started like having, you know, issues with people started, you know, kicking off. But at this point, this was at the very start of the year. No one had an issue with anybody, so everyone in the whole block just came to, was it 1G or something like that?
I wasn't there for that one because my granddad passed away by this point, so yeah.
I'm sure you came for a bit of it.
No, I wasn't there for that.
Okay,
yeah.
Alright, fair enough. So it was at 1G, so we all went up to this top floor flat, and everyone was there, so it was about 40 folk, and we were all just, you know, chatting away, partying away. And earlier in the day, we had this guy, Linlithgow Lee. Right, Linlithgow Lee, he was, you know, some guy, he was in, me and Duncan, who you've had obviously on the podcast before, came in and said he was our mate because we're on the same course. He's long gone now. There's a funny story behind him, he came in and he's a big fan of, for, you know, being the reprobate he is, he's a big fan of dark fruits. Right. So he brought that box of dark fruits there. He brought that in with him one day, and we were sitting drinking it away, and he finished it about, you know, like about 2 or 3 hours later. And this was just when the party was starting to kick off. And this was obviously my birthday party, and I was a wee bit pissed because we were playing a game called Gary No Gary. You familiar with that?
I've heard of, yes.
Yeah, it's, you know, flicking a coin and you know, drinking it. We were doing
Well,
that.
do you explain to them so they can what it is?
Right, okay, for the viewers out there.
In fact, I don't know.
For the right, well, let me educate you. Anyway, so what it was Gary No Gary in effect is basically, a cup, a glass, whatever, you know, we used a saucepan because we were going fucking hard at this point.
Reprobates.
I know, we are reprobates, and you get a coin, you pour some drink into whatever you're drinking, you know, it could be anything, you know, like beer, vodka,
dark
whatever.
fruits.
Dark fruits. Actually, for me, it was an Actimel, but we'll get onto that in a minute. So
I don't know
you
that
flick
part
it.
of the story.
You were. I think you'd left at this point because you were.
No,
there.
I wasn't there. I told you I wasn't there for this part. Your birthday.
Anyway, so I'll tell you
that.
that. So we're flicking the coin, then, you know, Gary No Gary, Gary heads, no Gary tails, and if you got it wrong, you know, you drink whatever's in the saucepan or cup or whatever. And going into the Actimel challenge, we were playing this for quite a bit, like a solid 2 years. So it was a mixture of all sorts of shite in there. Like at one point, I was drinking like Yakult. And it came around at me, and it was like dark fruits in there. There was beer, there was vodka, and I went, "Let's add some Actimel to that." So I brought that, and I'm like, "I'm gonna fucking regret this." Got it, and I was like, "Yes!" So I passed it down, and one of the lassies got it, and like instantly whited in the toilet. But it was good fun. But basically, so I was pretty pissed at this point, and like halfway through playing Gary No Gary, I found that same box that Lee brought with the Strongbow box, and I was like, "Oh, look at that! That'd be a good crown, that, wouldn't it?" So I picked this thing up, placed over my head. Right. You can see the rips in it still where I was fucking shoving it on there, and I went around with the whole night saying this is my birthday crown, so fucking I was getting, you know, super pissed. And then at the end of the night, I left a bit early to go get a train. I stood up and I made like an announcement, and I was like, right, this in my head, this is the birthday crown. This is the crown of birthdays, and the next birthday that comes around, I will pass this crown on. And then they will pass the crown on again, and this crown will live on through the generations as the birthday crown.
To be fair,
and at the end of the night, I gifted it to I think it was Chris or something like that. It was his birthday. I was like, "Here, carry on the legacy," and like gave him the crown and wandered off, dandered back, drunk on a train to Glasgow. That's the story behind it.
And the very last birthday there was whilst we were living in that flat was mine. As to why I have that crown.
The crown continued its dues.
I wore it for my birthday with pride.
Oh, and long may it continue.
Yeah, long may it
we'll bring it back as it continues on. Fair enough. So anyway,
right, Ben, we're going to move on to the first game now. I think.
Hold on a minute. Can we play some nice ambient elevator music? Because I really need to take a piss.
Right, we'll be back shortly.
That copper outsider is passing right through me. Discuss amongst yourselves, lad.
3, 2, 1. And we're back. Right, now Ben, the first game is called...
There's more than one.
Yeah, there's two games.
I
mean, I would have hoped you would have known being, you know, the key listener that you are.
I've come up my strategy. I've come unprepared. I mean,
what a shame.
Anyway, let's go.
Right, the game's called What Do You Think Of, and it's very simple. What do you think of? I'm going to give you a subject, and you, in as few words as possible, I want you to tell us what you think about the subject. So, for example, I would say to Jamie Scotland, and he would say
best country in the world.
So you know,
Good
something
answer.
similar
Good
to
answer.
that.
Good answer.
There's about 10 of these, so you know, just as fast as you can.
As fast as I can.
Ready? Well, I mean, you're not getting timed. It's
Here
just
we
you know,
go.
like it's just on the spot. First
Oh,
one
well,
comes to your head.
you should add that. You should make the 10-second sprint.
Oh no, it's fine. There's a timed one later, mate. Don't worry about this.
Don't worry, indeed.
Oh, here we go then. The excitement,
What
child.
do you think of Scotland?
Well, I find it hard to beat my opposite numbers.
Yeah, well, you can say it as
my
well. If
opposite
you feel
numbers.
the same.
Scotland, best country in the world. However, as with everything, room for improvement.
England.
Well, well, you know, you go to the polar opposite of what I just said there.
Worst country in the world?
Yeah, more room for improvement.
Glasgow.
Best city in the world. Best city in the country, arguably in the world. People make it.
Edinburgh.
Oh, shite.
Stirling.
You know, it's decent for an East Coast. I'll give it that.
Okay then. Rugby.
Best sport on the planet.
Sorry.
Football.
I'm gonna leave now. I'm insulted. Football.
Yeah.
Oh well, diving, bunch of pansies. Anyway,
Fuck you. Drugs.
how I made my living. Cut.
Alcohol.
What keeps me going?
Forth Valley College.
Room for improvement.
Stirling Uni.
Quite good and enjoy it, you know. Sport.
Travelling.
I did a lot of it.
Well, that's a great insight. And finally, your flatmate and previous podcast guest, Keelan.
Oh well, where do I start?
How many extras does he have?
He's a good lad. Right? Scares me sometimes, so he's strange outlooks, but you know he's a good lad. Don't quite understand him, but that's maybe for the best. But
Right then, Ben, you've been great to have on. There's one final game we need to play with you, and that game is called Quickfire Questions. Whilst I get set up, Jamie, would you like to explain?
No.
No?
But
Okay.
I will. The game is called Hot Seat.
Oh.
If you want to download it at home on the iTunes store, whatever.
Along with our podcasts.
no.
Now what I will say is,
Right.
this is very tactical, this game, right?
Tactical,
You're going to get a letter in the alphabet.
I mean, how tactical are we talking? Are we
Right,
talking like football tactical, or
no.
deciding where to go for a scrum or a line out tactical?
We're talking football tactical.
Oh no, that's not that bad then. I mean, I can do
Right.
it. Anyway,
However, you get a letter, you can re-roll if you don't want the letter, right? But the idea is with this letter, the game will then give you subjects such as toiletries. And with this letter, you have to then name a toiletry. So if it was tea, toilet paper.
Yeah.
Right.
So
You get timed, right? These are times on the board here as you see on the right hand side, right? We've got as short as 38 seconds with 9 correct, so
do
and
you mean
that's-
the left hand side?
the times are on the left hand side.
Okay.
On the right hand side of the board.
Oh, right, okay.
Anyway, these are the times, these are the amounts that people have got correct, right? We've got 38 seconds, 9 to beat.
Right.
Good luck.
So
Also,
I've got just to reiterate quickly here, it's 10 second, not 10 seconds, right? Bunch of questions, toiletries, letters.
So like it'll give you different questions, and with each question you've got to give an answer with beginning with the letter you started off with. So like if you got
Well, such as toiletries.
so
Toilet
like
paper.
if your letter was B and it got things that you'd put on a desk, you'd say book. You know, things like that. Okay.
Cool.
Now, if you need to pass, you can. However, there's a time penalty from that, and if you give me an answer which I think is wrong, I will also give you like a pass, which is a time penalty.
Right, let's get the Scotland international competitive spirit on the move.
Just one more thing as well. If you get 5 wrong, it counts as a DNF. And being the nice people we are, we give one chance after that to do something
To
different.
redeem yourself.
However, we've never had 2 DNFs on the board.
So don't be the first.
As Jamie said before, and the best is 38 seconds with 9 correct. However, our worst is 2 minutes and 8 seconds with 7 correct from Duncan. So you know that's your range they've
Okay.
got. It's
Some in the middle. You're
I'm
fine.
liking these hand gestures.
yeah,
Yeah,
it really
yeah,
describes.
yeah.
If only I had a camera to show it.
Alright, okay, right. I mean,
Are you
I don't
ready?
really understand it, but you know what?
Well, put it this way, right? If you fuck up the first time, you'll get another chance.
Alright.
And you know, when we invite you back on a year, then you get a chance to renew yourself.
Right, okay.
Right, so Ben,
this is just before we start. It's just I'm saying this not to the viewers, not to you guys, but to my future self. When you listen back to this and you fuck this, which you know you're going to, I hope you learn from your mistakes and you come back fucking blazing next year. But anyway, let's begin.
Ben, your letter is C. Would you like to re-roll or stick?
Stick.
Okay, brave boy. It's going to give you a countdown of 3 seconds that is going to hit you, okay? So are you ready?
Aye.
Right. 3, 2, 1. Words ending in N.
Can.
Toys.
Caterpillar. Toy.
Yep. Colours. Can pass if you want.
Pass.
Things you get addicted to.
Cocaine.
Yep. Things in the sky.
Clouds.
Yep. Things you shouldn't touch.
Crocodiles.
Yep. Things you replace.
I can't see that in live.
Pass if you want.
Pass. Aye.
Things in the kitchen.
Cookers.
Yep. Words associated with winter.
Cold.
Parts of your body.
Cock.
Yes! It's finally happened! He's been taken off 3rd place! Yes! Finally Jamie's off 3rd place! Oh, I've taken 21 of these podcasts! But finally, so Jamie, do you want to put up
No.
Ben's time? I think you should.
No, no sweater.
I think you should, mate. With a time of 1 minute and 2 seconds, and with 8 correct, Ben now takes.
It's peasant like anyway. It's only 8 correct. You know what I mean? That's piss poor.
Ben is now on. Yes, you don't know how smug he's.
Oh look, wanker. I mean, if you're really going for the sick burns on it, you should have put rugby wanker. That's how most of my school used to know me as rugby
Ben,
wanker.
this has been worth it on its own, mate.
There we go.
It's been so long. He's been sitting on the third. See every single see as well. The last 2 guests we've had, Keelan and Ben have both Keelan and Megan, sorry, have both fallen under 1 minute 5. Both of them. Jamie's on.
It's funny because I reckon I could have actually done better than that. I reckon I could have got into the 50-second margin, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate what happened. You're very, very close.
It happens.
You know, maybe next year you'll take the title. You know,
it happens. We'll see what happens. I mean, I've got about as good a chance of taking the title as Scotland do if having a win World Cup. But
so
we'll go for that. So
Jamie, before we move on to Prem fixtures, thoughts on being a loser, no longer a medal winner.
Liam, you got 1 minute 15 with 8 right. That's what I'm going to say. I'm still above you.
You're still shite though.
I'm still above you.
I'll beat you.
What was your school with Aberdeen Rangers and all like?
And with that, we'll go on to the Prem fixtures. Now, after I haven't actually marked it down yet, but I think with listening back to the podcast and watching Match of the Day last night, I think me and Jamie are now even. So crucial time, and I'm not confident with my picks. So, Chelsea versus Newcastle. Chelsea. That's probably the easy one.
Newcastle.
We don't allow our guests to speak at this point.
You bastard. Wait, you've done enough damage.
Brighton v Liverpool.
Liverpool.
Huddersfield v Everton v Huddersfield. Everton. Leicester v Burnley.
Leicester.
No,
I'm going to go with Burnley.
You said it. You know the rules.
Sorry, you've swapped many a times.
Alright, fine. Okay.
No, wait a minute.
Oh.
I'm going to put up a case for Burnley here, right? 6th in the league. Flying.
No, they are.
I'm going with Burnley.
Alright, okay. See if they fucking win there.
You fucked it, I can already tell you.
Carry on.
Stoke v Swansea.
Draw.
Well, we've actually got quite a lot of the same ones. Watford v Spurs.
I'm going to go with Spurs.
West Brom Palace.
West Brom.
Draw. Arsenal Man United.
Arsenal.
Man United.
Oh, that hard to say that.
Yeah,
I just want Man U to get beat so fucking bad, I hate them.
Bournemouth v Southampton.
Southampton.
Bournemouth. City v West Ham.
City.
We didn't even need to fucking ask that one.
I mean, on a side note, I think Tottenham are going to win this year.
He's been like from last year. He's just been he's been desperate to buy me a Spurs kit.
I mean, he's getting a Tottenham shirt for his birthday.
Is it?
Do you want to chip in?
it.
No, not necessarily. It's not.
Tell you what, I'm getting burnt in front of him when he buys me it though.
Shade isn't bun, mate.
Yeah, true. I should get quite
Shade
far.
isn't bun.
I'm just gonna have to throw it out the window.
Aye.
I'll come back to hunt you though.
Probably.
Back up
Aye.
the
I mean, it's the same colours as Ghost.
I know, but I'll buy. How about this? I'll buy a Glasgow Warriors top.
I'll wear that.
You wear that. It's actually quite a nice strip. Have you seen it?
No.
It's like solid black with like cyan blue, but like tartaned cyan blue down the sides.
Not the same
Or it's like
I rate
alternate.
that.
It's like white with the cyan blue down the sides.
the way I describe it's pretty decent.
I rate that.
Yeah.
Right, but
That's
until next week then, I've been Liam Whyte.
I've been Jamie Allan.
I've been Benjamin Francis Dimitri.
We'll see you next week. Goodbye.